First of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us in the webinar today. Well, let me get just right into it. I'm confident to start out by saying that all of you know at least one thing about, or two, about the Galapagos Islands. Be it its extraordinary wildlife, its historical importance linked to evolutionary theory, or its pristine coral reefs famous in diving circles, I can almost go as far as to assert that the Galapagos is one of the destinations in almost everyone's and anyone's bucket list. Testament to this is LatinTrails' varied scope of travelers we receive on a weekly basis on all our 3 Galapagos cruises. From toddlers to seniors, from nearby neighbors to faraway adventurers, from active explorers to soothing executives, we have truly tailored to all. This is why today we want to share with you our inside scoop into how to sell the Galapagos Islands to each and every one of these particular clients. For this, we will start by giving you some general information about the destination, and after a brief summary of our products, we will show you what the Enchanted Islands in general and LatinTrails in particular can offer you so that any passenger, be it who it be, will have the trip of a lifetime.
Many of you already know us, but for those that who don't know about LatinTrails, we're a complete inbound operator that specializes in tailor-made Galapagos Islands cruises, Ecuador trips, and Peru trips, focusing on the unique treasures found in this part of the world. LatinTrails offers, above all, experiences. All this on a business-to-business model designed to benefit the travel agent and the tour operator. This is why we work directly with agencies and tour operators through a system of competitive pricing where we ensure that you receive a good price for your clients and also good commission for your agents. For this, we have many tools at your disposition, such as branded websites, promotional material that focuses directly on the destination, and even access to intimate details about our boats, which can be found on our new extranet service.
And I'm sorry, Daniel and Marcel, I'm going to try to, we've got some echo, I think probably because your computers are right beside each other. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, or just maybe make sure when you're not speaking that you mute your microphone.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll mute the microphone when the other one's not speaking then.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thanks.
Okay, moving on. To begin with, just so you get a general idea of the place we're going to be talking about, the Galapagos Islands belongs to Ecuador. Ecuador is located in the north part of South America. It is the second smallest country on the continent, but what's amazing about it is that it's one of the most diverse in the world in terms of fauna, flora, and cultures. And also, it's not as far away as you may think. To give you an idea, by airplane travel, Ecuador is 4 hours away from Miami, 8 hours from New York, 11 hours from Madrid, and 12 hours from Amsterdam. So within part of this country is the Galapagos Archipelago. In terms of time to visit, any time of the year is good because we have no severe climate variations nor isolated seasons. Also, there is guaranteed wildlife activity all year round. As a tip, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about this towards the end, we recommend that you include a few days in mainland Ecuador before or after your Galapagos visit. So the Galapagos Islands themselves are part of this unique, marvelous little country. Why are the Galapagos Islands so special? Well, it's a living natural laboratory, inspiration for Darwin's theory of evolution, and it's home to marine and land creatures found nowhere else in the world. Also, travelers come unimaginably close with an impressive array of animals and bird life, including fur seals, albatross, iguanas, blue-footed boobies, penguins, turtles, and tortoises. So, in the incredible world we live in today, this is really one of those gems. It is really one of the last few privileged sanctuaries where nature is still allowed to run its natural course.
In order to explore such an amazing place, Latin Trails offers 3 boat options. Actually 4. The first of these being the Galapagos Journey 1. This is a first-class catamaran specially designed for travelers seeking an expedition option that has all the possible amenities and comfort found on a larger cruise ship, with the comfort and privacy only available on a small yacht. With the capacity for 16 passengers in 8 fully equipped cabins and social areas that include a jacuzzi, a very spacious sun deck, an alfresco dining area, the Galapagos Journey presents a great alternative for the seasoned traveler. Then we have the Galapagos Odyssey. This is for passengers looking for a little bit more in terms of comfort and space. We offer, this top quality yacht has been designed to offer more privacy and comfort with capacity as well for 16 passengers. The Odyssey combines elegant spacey interiors with an outdoor bar, shaded loungers area, and even a library. It's ideal for families, groups. This first-class option will make guests feel right at home. And finally, we have the Galapagos Grand Odyssey. This is our newest jewel. The Galapagos Grand Odyssey is a luxury yacht designed for the most demanding travelers. It has capacity for 16 passengers, featuring 7 spacious suites and 1 master suite, all fully equipped with the highest standards of amenities. This yacht was designed, the interiors were designed by the renowned designer Adriana Hoyos. She was one of the top Latin American designers, and it always offers a little bit extra, making it the finest ever sail the Galapagos waters. There's 2 jacuzzis on board. We have balconies, sunbeds, a special children's area, and even a fully equipped spa, which makes it the best choice for your VIP clients. Finally, we have the Galapagos Voyager. This is our most basic yacht. It is a tourist superior yacht, but it offers cozy and pleasant small group atmosphere. And it does have a lot of the comforts we find on our other premium yachts, with a little bit less space, but with the same high standards in food, service, and accommodations. It is very popular with our student and alumni groups.
So how does a tour on one of these boats look like? The tour on one of these boats starts out with a briefing the day before. Using audiovisual material, our guides give brief explanations on the itinerary to come and valuable tidbits of information, such as facts pertaining to the geology, flora, and fauna that will be encountered the next day. This way, we ensure that passengers are well equipped for the activity in the day to come. The next day, after a fulfilling buffet breakfast, clients are out and about exploring the marvels present in that day's particular island. This is done both by guided land excursions as well as sea activities such as snorkeling. Back on the boat and after a hearty lunch, visitors will then continue exploring on the second afternoon visit. After this second excursion and in between meals, passengers will have some free time to themselves. They can use this time to enjoy our various social areas such as the jacuzzis, which are always running when the boat is docked. Other popular options are sunbathing, reading, having a drink, or now even a massage. At night, as the day is filled with exciting visits, there are a few planned activities and time is thus spent resting, chatting, unwinding, and recovering for the next day. For this, our facilities are always open for use. Everything that goes into one day on board our boat complements each other and ends up enriching the overall experience. We do this by creating a common, fun, educational environment that encourages strong group bonds from the basis, and from there we are then able to tailor to everyone's very own Galapagos trip. How do we do this? By focusing on various areas which tailor to the collective well-being and to every single individual's particular tastes.
One of such areas is meals. First of all, note that all meals are included in all our cruises. For this, we offer buffet options for breakfast and lunch, and serve dishes for dinner. We're proud to say that we offer the best dishes available on any yacht in Galapagos. These dishes are a combination of Ecuadorian typical food, international cuisine, and even some fashion creations courtesy of our imaginative, bold cooks. For example, passengers can experience a typical bolón de verde. It's a ball made out of a fried plantain, and along with this, various cereal brands to kick off the day. As with everything we do, meals can also be tailor-made to guarantee our guests full satisfaction. For example, we can accommodate any form of vegetarian diets and food allergies, from peanut to gluten restrictions. We can also cater to specific tastes and customs. For example, we can create special children menus by offering classic favorites like pizza or chicken nuggets, and can even offer certified kosher dishes. We'll even send you the full menu for your chartered departures and let your clients change anything they want. As if this wasn't enough, we'll even go as far as opening our kitchen doors to your guests and let them bring their own private chef if they want on a chartered departure. All this at a comfortable price that suits all parties.
To complement such delicious meals, we offer a full drink menu as well. First of all, know that passengers receive complimentary unlimited water, tea, and coffee. Other beverages, such as soft and alcoholic drinks, need to be purchased by the client, and this must be paid at the end of the tour. At the moment, this tab must be paid in cash, although we are working to bring you the option of paying by credit card as well. The menu itself includes exotic daily freshly prepared juices, only found in the middle of the world. Bottled soft drinks you would expect to find in any first-class venue worldwide, and a vast list of exotic cocktails that complement well with Galapagos' unique experience. Know that our bars are open until around 11 p.m. every night. If you want to offer your clients the option of including all drinks on board, we can also offer you a special additional fee that includes either all soft drinks or an open bar fee that varies depending on the labels you want us to offer. In our chartered tours, we can also offer you a cordage fee for those clients that want to bring their own bottles. In the end, at LatinTrails, we want to make sure your clients can enjoy a nice chilled beverage after an exciting day of visits.
Everything we offer wouldn't work if it wasn't delivered by the best group of people available. Of these, the person your clients will be more familiarized with is most likely their guide. All of our guides are certified by the Galapagos National Park and have gone through intensive training programs. They have several years of experience and a strong passion for sharing their knowledge of the wildlife, biology, geology, and natural history of the islands. They are bilingual in both Spanish and English, but we offer various other languages during specific departures and upon request. For special charter groups, we can also offer guides specialized in specific topics such as marine biology, volcanology, and other specific interests. And your own private tour leaders for groups are also welcome to join and complement their experience as well. For this, we charge a special tour leader fee depending on the group size. Please note that the guide's responsibility is looking out for the group's general well-being and education. And just to give a small note on this, the guide is not we can't consider him a babysitter or maybe somebody that will help somebody that can't walk throughout the islands on their own. So with this said in mind, passengers are responsible to keep up with the group during our mild nature hikes. These are hikes that can be anywhere from 1 to 2 miles in the morning and 1 to 2 miles in the afternoon, and passengers must be able to walk along the trails unassisted for about a half hour or an hour. In the end, we're happy to say that our guides are more than information sources, but rather proud locals eager to unlock the secrets of the Galapagos Islands for their guests.
Behind the scenes, there are also many crew members with several years of experience. They all share in our vision of offering the finest experience to all our guests. From the captain to the chefs, all the way to our mechanical engineers, we are all prepared to pamper and offer everyone their creature comforts so that passengers can admire the survival of the fittest without having to endure it as we like to say. On a vacation aboard our boats, we offer activities that allow passengers to perceive Galapagos from different perspectives: guided hikes, snorkeling, swimming, wildlife observation, kayaking, and bird watching. I will now share some details about the snorkeling and kayaking. This is a unique opportunity to experience the wonders of the Galapagos Marine Reserve, like sea lions, sharks, turtles, penguins, and marine iguanas, who are always flopping around in the water. What is exciting is that the sites have an underwater topography so varied that the marine fauna encounter will never be repetitive. There are over 35 unique sites within the Galapagos Marine Reserve, most of them visited at some point by one of our boats. This means that we guarantee at least 2 snorkeling opportunities in our shortest itineraries, which are for 3 nights, 4 days. Within these options, a couple sites stand out from the rest. For example, in Bartolome Island, the Pinnacle site offers unique spotting of sea lions, sea turtles, and the unique Galapagos penguins. Other extraordinary sites are Genovesa Islands, cliffs of Darwin Bay, and Tintoneras, as small hammerhead sharks can be spotted. Last, but certainly not least, is the famous Devil's Crown in Fluorana Island. This is a natural reef home to various species of fish schools, sea turtles, manta rays, and even some shark species. Anything to add, Marcel?
There's no worry about the sharks. There has been no shark attacks in the Galapagos through tourist boats or through tourist activity. This is because there's so much food for the sharks in the Galapagos that they would not worry about, larger animals, as human beings are. Also, as another service, part of our packages and our trips in the Galapagos, your clients can enjoy great relaxing kayaking trips in various sites, at least once during the short itineraries. During this activity, they can watch dozens of marine species right underneath the crystal clear waters on which the enchanted islands rest on. The best sites we offer for this activity are Bartolome, Tagus Cove, and Kicker Rock, for the majestic scenery found in such locations. Note that Latin Trails provides snorkeling equipment, life vests when requested for the snorkeling activity, and the kayaks free of charge. Also, for a small fee, around $5 a day, wetsuits of all sizes are available for rent. Finally, we also offer diving on several departures. This is an extra service, though, which means clients who decide to do this miss out on the regular day activities, but they can replace them with an immersion.
Our shore excursions are packed full of several activities and lots of fun. A typical visit to a landing site includes a nature hike, zodiac ride, the snorkeling and kayak we already mentioned, and of course, time to relax on the beach. Guided hikes will give a client an amazing opportunity to get up close with nature. Moreover, they will enjoy the truly spectacular landscapes of completely different geological formations. On average, as Marcel mentioned, these walks are usually less than 1 mile or 2 miles. Although the terrain is rough in some areas, the average inclination is usually minimal, and anyone with average physical condition can happily endure our visits. The Galapagos Islands are more than anything an experiential destination. This is why at Latin Trails we ensure that visits always focus on that peculiar experience that sets each island apart from the rest, and this ultimately means memories that will live in your client's memory forever.
In order for activities to be a success, we follow the strictest patterns of security. To begin with, passengers on board our yachts are always greeted by a short briefing that outlines all the necessary safety information they need to know in case of an emergency. We have a safety briefing. We do a safety drill where passengers find the life vests that are in their cabins, they put them on, they test out the equipment, and they know what to do in case of an emergency, and they know what instructions to follow by the captain and the guide. To ensure that this is the case, Latin Trails works only with the most experienced, qualified crew and follows standards you would expect in any first-class international travel service. For example, our captain and the majority of our staff have CPR training and are prepared to offer emergency medical services. Amenities on board are also up to par with our crew. All our boats have visible emergency markings such as security lights, and in every cabin there are life jackets with whistles and lights. Also, our crew is equipped with the latest equipment to ensure that the boat is always in touch with proper authorities and in contact. Our itinerary is constantly monitored by the National Park, and they know exactly where we are at any point in time. For this, we have satellite phones and radios on board. This is why if there's a mechanical or medical emergency that cannot be treated by our medical emergency supplies on board, our passengers can always be transported to the appropriate facilities in a very short time. In addition, note that the Galapagos Odyssey boats are always sailing together in case they need mutual support, and even the Galapagos Journey has fellow cruisers around in case of an emergency, as well as the Galapagos Voyager. Just know that there is always a plan of action to be followed, no matter what eventuality is thrown at us. Testament to this commitment to safety and environmental friendliness is the Galapagos Journey. Our catamaran is Smart Voyager certified. This is availed by Rainforest Alliance and an internationally recognized affiliation. Our other boats are in the process of obtaining this certification, which guarantees the highest standards of safety and environmental consciousness.
Now we will give you some details and tips of how to cater to particular clients who will ask for particular needs, all of which Latin Trails can happily cover. To begin, we will first talk about traveling families. Note that families are always welcome in all of our departures, as we are confident to fulfill every member's of the family's expectations. First off, our infrastructure is designed for such groups. We have cabins, particularly in the Galapagos Odyssey, that can be adapted to triples with small families with one child. For bigger ones, we have connecting cabins on the Galapagos Grand Odyssey. Even the youngest members of the family are welcome. For them, we have the capacity of placing cribs in all of our boats. Besides the facilities, our programs are designed so that no one goes bored for a single moment. The Galapagos Islands themselves are a destination that naturally appeals to all, yet our itineraries are designed so that both children receive a thrill of learning and playing around, and parents can attain as much facts as they want, while still finding time to relax. For this, we not only have guides expert in captivating children's attention, but the all-out staff is qualified so mom and dad can take at least a couple hours break from their daily routine responsibilities. On the Galapagos Grand Odyssey, for example, children have a playing area equipped with a Nintendo Wii and a full set of children entertainment, such as movies, which are more than enough to keep toddlers busy for a couple hours while parents enjoy, well, for example, a massage on the onboard spa. Finally, to encourage families to experience the wonders of the Galapagos together, Latin Trails is always offering discounts for sons and daughters under 17 years of age.
Another group with the Galapagos as a favorite destination is honeymoon couples. There is nothing like celebrating that once-in-a-lifetime romantic getaway with your significant other than a Galapagos sunset and sharing our exciting activities. For this, we also offer private, cozy cabins such as the Galapagos Grand Odyssey Suite, the Galapagos Journey Suite, and the matrimonial cabins on board the Galapagos Odyssey. At Latin Trails, we know how to pamper this group so that romanticism never dies out. We offer private candlelight dinners with chick bottles of wine and even some music entertainment if requested. That's the great thing about our cruises, that even though they are nice and welcoming to create a group atmosphere, they're also big enough yachts that have private areas so that clients always have space for their own. As such, we can even go as far as to offer couples a symbolic wedding by our captains so they feel their bonds were tightened even more at sea and in the romantic setting of the Galapagos Islands. Being our star product for honeymoons, the Galapagos Grand Odyssey also offers couple massage therapies, as well as many other amenities like chocolate strawberries, always available upon request. You just have to ask and we'll make it happen.
There is really no time limit to finally see the Galapagos Islands. This is why one of our biggest groups, always present in all of our departures, are senior travelers. Although the Galapagos are an activity-filled destination, it can be explored by any senior guest up to 80 years old with regular heart conditions. Well, actually, we've actually had some that are even older than 80 years old, we are proud to say. This is because we have accessible cabins in all our boats, and our policy is to have a low-key, relaxing environment. Also, it is important to stress out once again that we have the medical capabilities to treat emergencies and the capacity to respond to all medical issues within hours. But are the excursions themselves appropriate for such a group? The answer is yes, as the physical activities is only mild in nature. It is very important to note, though, that we do require seniors to be able to move unassisted. But know that there is always a helpful hand from the crew member to help them out, for example, off one of the Zodiac boats or up a couple steps.
I've been mentioning a couple advantages of booking charters, but we also cater to individual travelers, and we have weekly departures where we do take individual bookings all year round. But for charters, we want you to know a little bit more about what we can offer. Know that all our boats are available for charters any time of the year, depending on availability, of course. Although if we do have individuals booked on any given cruise, we will not sell the charter. To book a charter, you have to go about it as any other sale, though. Although we do ask it is done with as much advance as possible, and we do require the full amount of the charter to be paid a little bit more in advance. Once it's booked, know that having a charter brings a couple of advantages worth mentioning. As we have been saying throughout this webinar, the advantage of having a boat booked for one particular group is the facility to tailor even further to your client's needs. Like having guides in a particular language or focus, having additional guides, a second guide on board, or welcoming your tour leaders. We can offer special visits and activities such as parties as well. Interviews with local authorities or Galapagos National Park authorities. Special venues within the populated islands where we will meet historical people that are still alive among the first settlers of the Galapagos Islands. Your clients make the call, and we'll do anything we possibly can do to fulfill it. This is why we recommend chartered tours for your special interest groups, be it groups of families sharing a vacation, educational university and alumni groups, special incentive executive groups, or travel clubs. Charters give us the opportunity to offer a little bit more at a price where you win more as well, and a discount for the group in total.
Belonging to a particular group is no prerequisite to enjoying the Galapagos Islands. This is why we also welcome individual travelers in all of our departures. For these adventurers, we offer the possibility of sharing double accommodations with like-minded individuals of the same sex for the regular fee. If passengers want the cabins to themselves, they can pay a single supplement fee as well. This fee is 100% on both Odyssey boats and 75% on the Galapagos Journey. Keep in mind that in many of our low-season departures, it is common that passengers willing to share end up having the cabin for themselves. If this is the case, your client will still not have to pay the single supplement fee. Finally, we are happy to allow individuals in all our tours, as we are confident that even the shyest of them will make bonds while discovering together this natural paradise. Many such bonds have proudly developed into lifelong relationships. The Galapagos really is the place for everyone to go. We also want to share with you today some information about the Galapagos Grand Odyssey Spa, a real luxury only present in this state-of-the-art yacht. This VIP service is booked once on the boat and has to be paid in cash once the tour ends. Yet, to make everyone's Grand Odyssey experience memorable, all guests receive a complimentary 30-minute massage. Here, you can find the massage options available, sure to make your clients happy. From a body wrap to a regular sport, a relaxation massage, there's a lot that we can offer. There is there is nothing like getting a good sweat going after a long day of excursions and then wrapping up the day with a massage jacuzzi combination.
Once you have included the majestic Galapagos Islands to your client's trip, our recommendation is to include a few days in mainland Ecuador before or after the visit to the Galapagos Islands. We do recommend that your clients arrive at least 2 days before. Make sure that they are in time to take their Galapagos flight. We consider it best for them to arrive 2 days before the flight, the day departing to the islands. And after the Galapagos cruise, there is many activities they can do in Ecuador. But I want to emphasize on arriving ahead of time. By arriving in Quito or Guayaquil a few days early, you can enjoy some pretty exciting pre- and post-tours and to visit other parts of Ecuador that are little or haven't not been explored. There's something to experience in mainland Ecuador for every single taste and desire. From colonial architecture, small towns with live cultures in the Andes, surrounded by activity-filled snow-top volcanoes, to beautiful beaches of the coast, just a few hours away from the Andes, or on the other side of the Andes to the exciting Amazon rainforest, the most biodiverse area in the world. There's certainly a lot to do in mainland Ecuador that can complement a very well-planned Galapagos Islands trip. Furthermore, we invite travelers to make the most of their vacation time in South America. And so it is possible for you to book your clients on a trip extension to Peru. We have offices in both Cusco and Arequipa for this. We mostly focus on the historical cities of Cusco and Machu Picchu, where guests can visit the famous lost city of the Incas, one of the most extraordinary examples of landscape architecture in the world. But Peru has a lot more to offer as well. There are archaeological ruins in the northern part of Peru. Lima is an exciting city with some of the best cuisine in South America, and a lot of other unique activities that you can enjoy in our neighbor country. With over 20 years of experience offering inbound travel services in Latin America, Latin Trails is a very good partner for your Galapagos Islands, Ecuador, and Peru bookings. Note that in order to book your Ecuador travel package with a Galapagos cruise, it is very important that you book your Galapagos cruise first. And then the rest of the tour can go around this. Basically because we want you to have the cabins and the boat that your client really wants. This is the bottleneck of the whole program. Once your Galapagos portion of the itinerary is secured, we can build pre- and post-trip extensions around it. Our contacts, you can contact us through our webpage, by email, by Skype, and by regular phone lines. And I also want to invite you to please join us on our next webinar, and where we will explain our 15-day itineraries. This will be on Tuesday, August 23rd at 12 p.m. We will dedicate the rest of our time to answer as many questions as possible. If your question is not answered during this webinar, please write to us at reservations@latintrails.com, and we'll be happy to get back to you in a brief time with a complete answer. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a great pleasure. This is Marcel Perkins. I am the manager at Latin Trails. I'm going to leave you with Daniel.
And this is Daniel Angel. I'm in charge of the marketing. And thank you very much for joining us today. We hope that this webinar was more than anything informational, and that it would make you just feel more comfortable in terms of selling Galapagos in general and our products in specific. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Marcel. Great presentation, and we do have quite a few questions, so I'm just going to jump right into those. This question came in early on from Linda. She wanted to know how many guests the Voyager can accommodate.
The Voyager is also a 16-passenger yacht. We work with this number because we feel it's the perfect combination in order to really tailor to one group. Not too big, not too small.
Okay, good. And Melanie is wondering where she might find the sailing schedule for each vessel. I assume that's available on the website?
It is available on the website, and we will be actually sending, because we're going to get a list of your emails, we will be sending you details how to access our extranet. We have an extranet on the Latin Trails website where we have unbranded material, specific PDFs, unbranded brochures, links to videos and to high-resolution pictures, and we have the itineraries in detail there.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Marcel. And I'm going to combine a couple questions here from Linda and Kathleen. They're both asking the same, which is what equipment is provided? Is diving equipment provided, snorkeling, kayaking? What would a guest expect to find on board that would be complimentary, and what would they need to be prepared to either bring or pay to rent?
Okay. Basically, what we provide on board as equipment for the excursions is, of course, the life vests, which is definitely necessary. We have snorkeling equipment. This includes the fins, the mask, and the snorkel. These are free of charge, as well as the kayaks. On the Galapagos Journey, we have 2 double kayaks available, and on the Odysseys, we have 8 double kayaks available. So everybody on the Odysseys can, on both the Galapagos Odyssey and on the Grand Odyssey, can use the kayaks at the same time. On the Journey, it's on a first-come, first-served basis. We don't charge anything for this equipment. The only equipment that has to be rented out would be the wetsuits, which usually are not necessary all year round. For example, from December through June, it's very seldom that somebody uses a wetsuit during snorkeling. But from July through December, the water is a little bit cooler, and wetsuits are available for rent. If somebody needs a specific size, that is, let us know in advance, and we can accommodate that. But the rental fee for the wetsuits, it's really nominal. It's $5 per day.
Okay, yes, that is very reasonable. Let's talk a little bit about experience on the islands. This question came in from Marjorie. She's wondering what the maximum number of visitors might be at any given time to the island, any of the islands.
Well, the maximum amount of visitors to any of the islands is actually, it's about, well, within one group with one guide, it's 16 passengers per guide. So within your group, when you're visiting the islands, there will be 16 passengers or 16 visitors at that given point. There will be other boats at the same visitor site. Now, but and how the park has organized this is that a given boat will start at the trailhead or at the trail end, will have their snorkeling activity before the other boat, but at a given time, in general, it's about 150 people at a given visitor site, but you're not within the same group at all the time. You definitely are within your group, and you have privacy because you have several activities that you can perform at different locations throughout the same visitor site.
Oh, that's good. And this question also about visiting the islands. If a person is unable to hike the trails, what options do they have while others are out on these hikes? Well,
what we have done, they have, in some cases, there are scenic sites where you can actually enjoy them from on board the boats. We have open deck areas. You do have great views from any position on the sun decks. We do offer zodiac rides. For example, on Bartolome Island, where it is one of the most difficult hikes because you're climbing 1,800 steps, which for somebody who's in a mid condition, they can do it easily. But if somebody feels uneasy of climbing all these steps, they can do a zodiac ride, and we will go visit the small rocks that are around the island where we have penguin colonies. So you don't have to actually walk to see some of the wildlife. And on other locations, on the zodiac rides, you will be able to visit, smaller islets where you have colonies of blue-footed boobies, or where you can get close to colonies of sea lions. So those are a couple of the activities. And if the person can swim, they can actually do the snorkeling with the life vest on, or they could do kayaking, from a seated position.
All right, very good. Let's talk a little bit about getting there. We had several questions about the distance between the mainland and the Galapagos Islands. How long does it take to get there? What is your option? Is taking a cruise the only option for reaching the Galapagos? Maybe you could just talk a little bit more about that.
Well, in order to reach the Galapagos Islands, you have to do it by air travel. You can either leave from Quito to Guayaquil. From Quito, it's about no more than an hour and a half, and from Guayaquil is a little bit shorter. It's about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. In terms of reaching islands, that's pretty much the only way. You can't really leave from the boat from the mainland. It would take a couple of days, and there's really nothing. There wouldn't be anything attractive to see on the way. So the way we organize it is that we coordinate the air travel for our clients so that they're in the islands for the departure of the cruise.
Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about rates for a minute. There are several questions about that. Linda wondered, just again as a recap, how many days your trips are and where she might go to find the cost for those.
Well, our trips go anywhere from 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, 7 nights, all the way up to 14 nights. And you don't have to take a 15-day cruise with the new itineraries, which a lot of people have been asking us. Basically, it's just that the boat does a 15-day route, and you can take advantage of the shorter routes in between. Having said this, our rates our rack rates are located at the Latin Trails website. We have links to each boat, and there's a downloadable PDF with the rates listed on that. In any case, we will send the rates out to each of the participants of the webinar. All right, good.
And Maria's wondering, do the rack rates that you mentioned include the additional park fee, or would that be added on to the final price?
Well, the park fee, which is $100 for foreign travels, is usually something that's paid extra. With that said, if you wish for that to be included, we can include it something extra that we can pay beforehand. But the usual way it's done is that it's paid in cash once you arrive in the Galapagos airport.
Okay, great. Yvonne is wondering about booking window and how important it is to book early, and I guess if maybe you could talk about how far in advance people need to be thinking about booking their journey, and what maybe would be considered high season for you and booked up more quickly.
It really high season. It's hard to say high season exists in the Galapagos because it's a year-round destination. And in years past, July and August used to be really high seasons with a lot of travelers, mainly because of vacation time. But nowadays things have changed a little bit. Well, with the economic crunch, there was a couple of years. Well, that we're still moving out of. Booking patterns have changed, and really it's hard to say which is the high season or low season, because Galapagos has great weather all year round. But if you want a specific boat, or you want a specific itinerary, a specific program, I would say it's best to book in advance, 6 months at least. That way you can really plan things out well. And we're open to giving discounts for travelers that book a year in advance, holding like this year's prices for next year, and ideas like that. We're always trying to incentivize booking so that that their trip plans are well in advance, and basically they can build a trip around it. They get better, because a lot of people, there's the mistaken idea that you can get better prices by coming at last minute. Yes, but there's a price to that. You're not always going to find the boat you want. You're not always going to find the itinerary you want. And on top of that, at last minute, air prices do rise. So I would say that 6 months in advance is a good window. If you asked me in 2007, it would be a year in advance. Right now, the booking patterns have changed, not only for the Galapagos but for the whole travel industry. And I would say 6 months in advance is a very good window, unless you're booking for Christmas or New Year's, where right now we're talking about a 14-month in advance window.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's see. This also question from Melanie. What about finding availability for a specific cruise? Do agents need to call you to check availability, or is that available online?
They would actually call us or contact us by Skype, email, or either way. I think one of the fastest ways of doing it is by Skype. We chat with our agents all the time, and it's a quick way to check availability. The reason we don't have an online availability system is mainly because of the change in itineraries, and it's a 15-day itinerary that breaks into several, shorter cruises, and there's still not a system that we're quite comfortable in having online with that. We're developing it, but for now we're doing it, on a person-to-person basis.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to go back and ask you a couple more questions about the Galapagos, and then I think we'll transition into some business questions. Sylvia is wondering how many of the islands within the Galapagos Islands are actually inhabited.
Well, in Galapagos, really, there's only 3 islands that can be considered, 4 islands that can be considered inhabited. With that said, these islands are only small towns that more than anything are dedicated to tourism or very small industries. The main one is Santa Cruz, which is pretty much where most of our tours begin. And then the other 2 big ones are San Cristobal and Isabela. These towns also are big fishing towns, obviously just certain species, but those would be what you would consider the settlements. What's interesting is that most of the Galapagos are a national park, so only a very small percentage is constituted by these little towns.
Okay. Thank you. And this question from Maria, she seems to remember that there's a place where you can actually swim with penguins, and she's wondering if any of your itineraries go to this particular area.
Well, yes, and one thing is, we can't guarantee the penguins will be there, but usually this type of experience happens at Bartolome Island. And we do have that within our itineraries. You can also encounter penguins when you're doing snorkeling at Tagus Cove and on Punta Espinosa on Fernandina Island. And and we've been noticed lately that it can be done at Point Cormorant on Floriana Island or at Puerto Villamil on Isabela Island. But the most common encounters are actually my daughter was surrounded by 8 penguins at one given point in time on Bartolome Island.
Oh, that sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Oh, that's neat. All right, well, let's move into some business questions in the time that we have left. This question from Linda, do you have a DVD available that she could use to show her clients?
Yes, we do. We have a very complete material where you can find from videos to pictures to links, and we can most definitely mail it to you. Again, we're going to be sending out some information after the webinar where you can access a lot, not all of it, a lot of this material through the web, but we will be glad to mail it as well, the DVD as well.
Okay. There is so much interest in this new 15-day itinerary, and so I think that your webinar is going to be very well attended in August. There are some questions now. One is, how many islands, excuse me, how many islands will you be visiting on this itinerary?
Well, in general, we visit let's say on the shorter itineraries, we would visit 4 to 5 islands. In average, we would visit on a 15-day itinerary about, I would say, about 10 to 12 islands. Now, taking into account that each island has more than one visitor site. So on a 15-day itinerary, I could confidently say we would be visiting about 26 to 27 visitor sites.
Wow, that's great. And Andrew's with us, and I think I'm going to read part of what he's asking here, and probably want to get in touch to discuss more with him. But he's wondering, what you think about these new itineraries. Do you anticipate that more and more travelers will be combining these trips into the longer itineraries?
Well, as it has been a big topic, but in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think it's amazing, because you have the possibility of doing 15 days where you don't repeat visitor sites. So having said that, another advantage is that the boats are spread out a little bit more. before, I mentioned, there might be 150 visitors at one given point in time. Well, before it would be maybe 200. Now it's going to go down to 150, or it might even go down to 120. So that actually spreads out people throughout the visits to the islands. Because there is no added capacity to the Galapagos Islands. Mainly, the only changes are a new boat comes in, an old boat comes out. But basically, this will allow to be less visitors at one visitor site, at any given point in time. Also, giving more conservation. This is a stronger conservation effort as well, because you're letting the islands rest a little bit in between visits. So I think in general it's a very good move by the Galapagos National Park, and it will enhance the visitors' experience, having less people nearby during any given time visiting the islands, for one part, and allowing people that only before you had the option of doing 3, 4, and 7 nights, and very seldom you would find a boat that would have a 15-day cruise which had to be planned well in advance and had to get a special permit for something like that. Now it's normal, and so you can actually do, as I mentioned, 3 nights, 4 days, 4 nights, 5 days, 5 nights, 6 days, 9 nights, 10 days, and all the way up to 14 nights. It really depends on the interest of the travel, and we can actually cater to a broader scope of people that have different interests in the islands.
That's great. It sounds very exciting. Okay, well, let's finish up with this question, always a popular question, and it is whether you offer travel agent or perhaps ever offer them.
Yes, we certainly do. We organize fan trips, so I guess you can talk a lot about it, but you have to see it to really get the Galapagos experience. So we're always open to those possibilities. So if anybody's interested, let us know, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Oh, terrific. That's great, Daniel. Well, we've gone through most every question that we got today, which is wonderful. And just as a reminder to those who may have joined a little late, we did record today, so we will make sure you get that link. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Daniel and Marcel for any final thoughts before we close.
Well, more than anything, once again, thank you very much, and we hope that this was helpful, and we hope that this will make Galapagos one of your top destinations to sell. And we hope to see you again in a couple of weeks for our 15-day itineraries webinar.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. It's been really a pleasure to share a little bit of knowledge about the islands. It's our passion to travel here. And if you have any questions, anything you need to know about Latin Trails or the Galapagos Islands, about Ecuador, or about Peru, we're more than happy to answer. Thank you very much.